Hello, welcome to Cultural Spectrums and Jazz Pearls. I'm your host, Eric Frazier. We have a fantastic program in store for you today. We hope you'll enjoy it.
I'm 185. You told me you was 230. I was like, damn. Can you imagine that? You know, you can't go beat this guy, man. But
Man, what was you eating when you coming up, man? What was you eating?
Yeah.
no, he was. But we knew
He was lifting.
Yeah, we knew he was lifting weights. We knew he was lifting weights. That's 50 pounds, man. Think about it. That's 50 pounds in high school. Over.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
That's a lot, man. That's how Mac Miller used to be running over
My
people.
man next to you.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Victor Gatton.
Well, he had a better squad.
Victor, give me your opinion.
He was the only one that had a squad to compete with.
So let's name the players first of all.
Well, first of all, I was going to say it's an honor for me to be here. Boys High School has even though I did not attend, has a very deep place in my heart. My second cousin was a legend there, Jimmy Gathers. He ran track there and was an Olympian out of Boys High.
That's right.
My father wanted me to go to Boys High, and Mr. Jones had met with me in the summer before my senior year, asked me to come to Boys High. But the day that I went down there and I looked at all the guys that was practicing and trying, I said, no, I'm not coming here because I will never get on the court. I'm going to Jefferson, which is 4 blocks away from my house.
Okay.
But I was a little different, Melvin, because I had played against you in junior high school. Because you went to 271, I went to 296. So I had a different impression. And my mindset back in those days, I didn't care. I didn't care who I was playing against. I wasn't afraid of nobody, and I didn't care. I was still the same. So anyway, that year, my senior year, we only lost 2 games. Well, both of them went to Boys High, but it was only a total of 3 points.
What year was
We
this?
lost
69.
69, okay.
The first at the High we lost by 2. At Jeff we lost by 1. No, the reverse. At the High we lost by 1. At Jeff we lost by 2.
Who was on that team?
We had Burwell. That was our 7-footer. Slim. Yeah, Burwell was Slim. Yeah. He was 7-footer. And then we had Ezzy Charles, who played with Melvin in 271. Then we had Earl Davis,
Carl
Kaya, my boy King Lenore, myself, and Wayne Walker. We only had one Caucasian on the team. And it's a strange thing because the particular day that we were going to the High, previous to that, Beckman had me playing with the first 5. Just before we go to the High, that particular day, he tells me he's gonna let Bruce Finkelstein start in front of me.
Finkelstein.
So I flipped on in front of everybody. I said, "Why do you think this white boy can play better than me? Are you crazy?" He made the mistake and says, "I think he's better than you." So that fueled me. I said, "Okay, we're going to the High today. We're gonna find out who can play.
Going to the High.
We're gonna find out who can play." And of course, first 2 times he dribbled, y'all stole the ball from him. So he put me in,
Right.
and I just went into my act because I said, if we feel like this, I'm gonna turn this into a park game.
Yeah.
I'm going to the basket. I'm just going to the basket. I'm shooting. I don't care what. I ain't running no plays. And that's what I did. So my mindset going to the High was, these brothers can play. I respect them. I ain't backing down. I don't care. So that's just me. But most of the guys on the team had a little trepidation because after I had that conversation with the coach, I was pissed off with them because none of them said anything in my defense. So they got on the train. They was in a different car. I was in a different car. I ain't want to ride in the car with them.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know? So when they were walking up to the High. Never forget, I came behind them And the football, the high football team, they outside threatening them. You know, telling them what they gonna do to them, what they ain't gonna do to them, and what y'all better not do. So I came up behind them, and I don't know who was talking. I told whoever was talking, I said, man, you need to kiss my ass. You come here to kick your ass. That's it. And everybody said, yeah? I said, yeah, that's what we gonna do. So we lost. But one thing I respect after the game, Mr. Jones came over to me, personally shook my hand and said, Gather, you almost did it to us today. I said, yeah, well, we still lost. He said, well, you played. He said, you played. If everybody would have played like you, we might have lost. I said, well, that's the way it is. So I can only say this. I tell everybody, my basketball career, only team that ever beat me twice was Boys High. And I respect it.
All right.
So I respect it. I respect it.
Those were tight games. You brought out the best of us.
Yeah, so I came to play. I didn't give them. I don't care whose idea.
That's right. Hell with them kangaroos.
I used to say to guys, man, I used to say, listen, it's Oscar Robinson, Jerry West, or Joe Hammond, or Kareem out there. They said, I said, then we can win. I said, any of them 4 guys out there, we can't win. As long as they ain't out there, let's go out here and have fun. Do your thing. You know how to play? Play.
You had a coach that knew what to do with you guys. So
he was nurturing, and I was very, just to make a little, to say a little bit more. I was very proud that this black man was able to win the way he won for so many years.
Yeah. And I didn't realize
that was inspiring for me.
Yeah. I didn't realize for a long time that he was the first black coach in the PSL.
First black high school coach.
First black college coach.
Yeah, we call that CIS.
First black college coach too.
Yeah.
He was? Manhattan?
Manhattan community. Yeah, we had no black coaches.
I didn't know that.
The only black person I saw was playing high school ball was Dolly King, who was a referee.
Dolly King. I remember
that name?
Yeah, but he played for LIU, right?
But
Yeah.
I think Dolly King was
King.
also the principal or something at Manhattan Community
I
College.
think he was a war hero.
Yeah.
First of all, he was a basketball player, athlete.
Yeah.
But he was the
all
only
And
black
I'll let
official.
Billy would know.
Right?
Yeah.
He was the only black official.
remember that.
Remember?
Yeah.
That I remember
But see,
seeing.
you know, there's so much here. Like he's talking about Jefferson. Coach played for Jefferson. And I didn't know.
Maryland Tarrant.
And they named the gym after Tony Jackson.
Yeah,
But a lot of
TJ.
people don't know that my coach, he's still my coach, God bless him.
Our coach.
He took Tony Jackson out the house and put him on his team. So he was Tony Jackson's mentor. And the reason why I know that is because when we played at 258, Coach worked there, he got Tony Jackson's job there. Now, first time I saw somebody in the newspaper that was black was Tony Jackson, because my parents sent me
On the back page.
on the back page, telling you, go
didn't
get
see
the
that
Sunday
back
paper.
then.
Go, say, wait a minute, this black
No.
guy in the news?
That wasn't happening back
Well,
then.
he always told us that being an all-black team with a black coach, we had a responsibility.
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, citizens, and all that kind of
Everything
stuff.
and win.
And of course.
because
That was
because
gold.
because that had to shut everybody up.
Yeah.
And he always told us when we went in to play those games
Oh yeah.
that we were up against the wall
Yeah, we had to
because of
remember.
our blackness.
Howie was one of the pioneers.
He's straight up with us, right, Mal?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Straight up.
With that comment, let me make a statement as we're closing out the video. Howie Jones was unique. There's no question about it. I had a very unique relationship with him. He was a father figure to me. Al played 2 sports. He played baseball and basketball.
That's right. That's right. He was our All-American.
Howie was a great man, a great man, a great teacher. I loved him, and I learned a lot from Howie as far as me being on the bench, but I stayed in there, and whatever he put me in, I was ready to go. And sometimes I would go home and I don't know how I made it in there because I was just scared, you know, like, damn, how he got me out here. And then when we used to practice, when I first started, Mel used to, was the captain, and he would be up on the track, and he would be flying around there. And we trying to keep up with him, man, and we would be dead. And then after that, we got to go downstairs and practice and play defense and everything. But it was great. It was really great. And then towards the end, the championship game, Vaughn was out. He started me. And we won the championship. It was great, you know. And then with the baseball, I went on to make All-City in the baseball. Because that really was my game. But my friend was Jimmy Pearsall, who y'all know is Blue. And Blue said, yo, man, so I was playing the night centers, you need to come to the high. So come to the high? I said, man, I'm not going to the high. Them cats is killers. I said, man, you can make it. So I was transferring in. So when I got there, Mr. Jones put me on the team. And that year I had to sit out because I had transferred from another school, and so I couldn't play either sport. But then my senior year, I was able to play, and it was a great team. We were #1 in the nation. We went all over and played. Nobody could beat us. Like Juan and Mel was saying, we would beat teams by 50. We beat John Jay by 89. Okay? 89? 89. Yeah. Yes, sir.
40 minutes.
Yes, sir. And John Jay.
John Jay must have never crossed half court.
They did.
They couldn't.
I love you guys. And Mel, he knows I love him, you know. And I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Give him a hand.
We're the chosen ones who wanted to be.
Chosen, I like that. That's right, Cassie.
What does it feel like, man, being the champion?
It felt great, man. It was great. We was the best in the city. We was best in the country. We were #1 in the country.
When you try to do other things in life, how did it give you more confidence?
Hey, I went on to work for the city for 30 years. Okay? And it was all because of going to Boys High and the guys being, we were a family, you know. Once you got there, we was a family. I was in Juan's class, Stevie Johnson's class. We had a ball. It was the best move I ever made, transferring into Boys High. That's all I can say. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Mel for putting this together. I thank my classmate Eric Frazier for filming us.
Eric, give Eric all the
We both class of 65.
Thank you, Eric.
I think what's unique about my experience is I was caught in between the era of Mickey Fisher and Mr. Howard Jones. I had been like prepared or mentored by one Freddie Jones who was on the 1960 championship team. He took me to the junior high school that he went to, which was 258. Told the coach to put me on the team. Then he brought me to Mr. Fisher. So Mr. Fisher to put me on the team. Unfortunately, he left, graduated, joined the service, and moved on. So I was left thinking that I was going to Boys High, but then when I got my papers, they sent me to the annex. So by the time Mr. Jones found me, 1 year had passed. But fast forward to all of that, because I know he's, pressed for time. My experience with Mr. Jones was that he taught me basketball, and he taught me life. The stuff that I see that the NBA players play today, he would look at it and say, oh no, you don't go up in there to pass. You cut off the baseline. Send the man back to the middle.
Press.
You don't say the ball on the other team's basket. You know, all of those little nuances. And when I went to West Virginia to play ball, I was surprised to see that these guys, the guards, could not put the ball in their left hand. They would be dribbling, going to their left. I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? I said, you know, the guys in New York, you know, look at this and say, this is crazy. But, you know, my situation was, when I came back home after I graduated, I knew I wanted to coach. So I had all those references, you know, from being at the High with Mr. Jones and being at the Y with Gene Smith and that PS3 with Donald Durant, all of those things. I used the boys' high layup drill because that was unique. We had 3 men lined up, pass, go underneath pass. I used the offense where you had pick and roll, go to set picks for each other, and in the presses. So I'm in middle school doing it. You know, my kids are learning, and I coach phys ed. So I taught phys ed. So now I taught boys that, I taught the girls that. Some of them went on to be very successful, but I know I owe it to the people that instilled it into me, and I was able to apply it. So, you know, we have a tradition at Boys High that goes back so far as we can remember. And as I mentioned to someone else, I looked it up online, and Boys High won their first city championship in 1906. So you can't get a richer tradition than that. You know, with that closing, you know, all praise God, like Mel said, Mr. Jones in a better place. But he'll never be forgotten, because what he instilled in us, we've instilled in our children and the students that we had, or the people that came up behind us. My man Juan Casil said he coached AAU. They ain't gonna forget what you taught them. Because if you take what you learned in sports and apply it to your life like you did, you're gonna be successful. You know, never give up. Preparation equals success. And I mean, that's the hardest I work playing for Boys High, because I never thought about running a mile. I might have run a mile up and down the basketball courts in the parks of Brooklyn, but not around the track. It was boring at first, but then when I saw the spring in my legs and whatnot, and they said, well, that's the preparation. And like these guys said, you know, by the time 69, 68, 69 came around, he had honed his skills. He had honed his skills. I think losing to Erasmus 3 times in 1 year in 65 got him on his game. That never happened again. You know, that's his legend. He lost to Erasmus, we lost to Erasmus 3 times in 1965, and I had to live with Carlton Screen and Brother Thompson and Saul McMillan telling me this for the last 40 years. So certain things motivate you. Losses could motivate you too. All in all, you know, hail to Mr. Jones and hail to the Kangaroos.
Kangaroos! Kangaroos! Mambo!
That used to resonate to the garden.
In closing, I want to thank the brothers that showed up. Howie Jones is a mentor. He is a monument. He is someone who will never ever forget. He impacted so many lives, it's unbelievable. Most important is that...
Oh, show it to Gallis. That's show him that coach that played for Jefferson. He played for Jefferson.
Give me camera.
Howie Jones gave us life skills that we can transform to our children. And today, I have 3 daughters. The same skills, the same techniques, the same methods that he taught me, I can transfer over to my daughters. The bottom line is, Howie Jones is a legend. I appreciate him, I respect him, I honor him for what he's done. Most importantly, these are players that play for him that he helped. He has helped so many people outside of basketball. I have met doctors, politicians, and attorneys that he has helped to send to school to prolong their careers. I love Howie Jones, I'll never forget him. I have been blessed that Howie Jones came into my life and introduced me to basketball and to the life skills that carry me through. Thank you so much. And thank you for the brothers that showed up.
Anyway, it's good to see a person of Howie's stature
Guys, make sure you
Start
introduce
over.
yourself.
I'm Kassim Dafar. At that time, it was Dennis Carter from Canarsie High School. I'm just talking about having or looking at Howie as a mentor for all of us. I went to a particular white school, had a few black athletes, but my school was brand new at the time. And Canarsie High School, Canarsie, it was brand new high school, so we had to be almost like busted to know like the segregation rights. That's how we felt being in that particular school. But like playing against the high and formidable schools like that had legacies in basketball, you know, we knew we had to bring it on, but then there's also, you got to be willing to accept reality. I didn't have the talent, we didn't have the talent to compete with the high, but we did the best we could. So we fought hard fights, but it is what it is at that point in time. But looking at Howie, and then over the years knowing that how he had mentored the athletes that played at our boys and girls, Mel, Vaughn, all of them that that I can remember. That was an inspiration for me to say, well, hey, he was a good man, and I wish, I do wish that I would have had somebody of his caliber that would have worked in my interest, because who knows how far. But being that he was a man of integrity, it's all about what you got out of the basketball. We used the basketball as a motivation, as a tool. And behind that, it was able for us to get those who were able to get college scholarships and then go on from there and become successful. First it was a challenge to get out. Not everybody gets out, most of them come home. But when you can get out and then you can use those tools to work in whatever field that you chose to study in, and then make it, and then you become a man and deal with your responsibilities in life, so that you can support your family and move on and teach one. Each one teach one aspect. So looking at Howie as a mentor, it was truly an honor to see him. Knowing my friends who are now, we were opponents, but now we lifetime friends. And that's the main thing. I appreciate everybody that's here, seeing them in this type of, this is glory, because our friends are dropping left and right, but to still have them here and celebrate in this fashion means the whole world to me. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, man.
My family.
Where you want me to look? Right here? Okay. It is really an honor for me to be here to celebrate the life of Mr. Jones.
What's your name?
My name is Dr. Victor Gathers. Although I did not have the pleasure or the honor to play on his team, I was always, as a player, impressed with him as a man, because I understood what he was going through and the example that he was trying to set for all of the players, whether they were on his team or whether they were opponents. And I respected him for that. I can honestly say in my entire basketball career that the only team, and this is college also, the only team that ever really impressed me was Boys High School. My senior year, we only lost 2 games, both to Boys High by 3 points, both games. And the players that he had were a testament to his leadership. And when I think about Mr. Jones, I think of a leader. And he led those young men to extreme heights. And I want to honor them. I respect them because they were true competitors. True competitors. And you know, when you played against Boys High School, you had to play. You couldn't, there was no shucking and jiving. You had to play, or else you were going to get your butt kicked. So, as a Jeffersonian, I honor the spirit and legacy of Mr. Jones and the results that he has spawned through his players. And Melvin Davis is the only player that I never beat. junior high school, and high school. So he has a special place in my heart. Thank you.
In your high school, Jefferson High School.
Thomas Jefferson.
Mike, Virginia Union.
Come on, Mike. Virginia Union, baby.
Mike, you got to close it, Mike.
Mike Davis.
Take it back to
Closing it up.
Take it back to Sands.
Take
it back to Sands, Mike.
My name is Mike Davis,
They crushed it too.
from Bed-Stuy, sometimes known as the Crusher. I attended Virginia Union University, and one of the reasons I went to Virginia Union University. Excuse me, can I do this? And one of the reasons I went to Virginia Union University is because of Howie Jones. And we played against Boys High. I went to Eastern District High School. We played against Boys High. We hated them. But we always respected them, especially Mr. Jones. Now, when I got to Virginia Union, Mr. Jones had already left. But while he was at Union, he was the MVP of the CIAA tournament twice. He was the coach of the year at Virginia Union. So he played at Union, graduated from Union, came back and coached the team. On the team that he coached was Jackie Jackson, Edward Simmons, Roger Gibbs, Bruce Spraggins. Those guys became pros. Unfortunately, Howie left and came back to Brooklyn before I got to Union. But his inspiration, we had guys in our neighborhood, before they were called role models, they were guys who we wanted to be like. They were teachers, they were educators, they were athletes and coaches. Howie has a special place in my heart. Particularly, he coached my brother, he coached Mel, several of my best friends. And I was always envious of that because had he been at Virginia Union, had he stayed at Virginia Union, we would have won some championships. But in closing, I love Howie Jones, respected him. Virginia Union alumni, he won't be replaced, but we do the best we can in his memory.
And then high school experience, Boys High, Eastern
And of course, Boys High. He wasn't the coach of Boys High. Fisher was the coach at the High at the time. But regardless, a great man, somebody we'll always remember, who's always in our hearts and plays a great part in the way we conduct ourselves today. So with that, love you, Howie. We're going to miss you, and you'll never be forgotten because your legacy is spread around. We got principals and whatnot who have raised kids, generations of kids. And this, again, is due to Howie Jones and the wonderful mentors that we had as growing up. So with that, I thank you. Howie, we'll miss you, but we'll never forget you.
Now, wonderful. Turnout, happy. It is what it is. But for you being an aspiration for doing all of this, you touch our heart. You have a special place in our heart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep on doing what you do. All aspects, but especially this little clique for us. It means so much to us. Thank you, man.
So I just want to chime in, Melvin. You know, it's special for me on two fronts. Naturally, being a teammate of yours, and you know that last game, that semifinal championship game we had, and my play in that game.
Broke your ankle?
Where I broke my ankle, but that interception of that ball at that time passed to Gus Washington, to Kinsey, and on to you, whoever else, won that game, which took us into the championship game. But my point being, along with that, is that it takes me back to the Boys High and Sands Junior High School. You know, that was the root of basketball players coming from Sands Junior High School, Fort Greene, into Boys High. Howie's first year there, which included several players from Fort Greene out of Sands Junior High School. So I just have to mention the fact that this is a Sands Junior High School Boys High Fort Greene relationship.
What about a pipeline?
I appreciate that.
I'm the only one left, so I got to include this stuff.
That game,
Yeah,
we
man.
were down by 17.
Come on.
Is that right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
that one play
Won by 10.
propelled us.
One by
Who was
two?
y'all playing against?
Clinton.
Clinton? Oh.
Who was
Oh,
playing for Clinton?
Wow.
Who was playing for Clinton then?
no,
At Brandeis.
at Brandeis.
Wow.
Who was on Clinton's
Tell them
squad?
who's on Clinton. The team. The team.
Ricky Polite, Ron Behagen,
Yeah.
Hagen.
He went to Cincinnati.
Tom Henderson,
Ike DeVore, was Ike DeVore on that team too?
You say Ron Rutledge?
Ron Rutledge.
Go ahead. What's that? You say Ricky already?
You had two pros. You had two future pros, right? D. Hagen.
Yeah.
D. Hagen.
and Tom Henderson.
Tom Henderson.
They were loaded.
Well, you know, that was a big rivalry for two reasons. Number one, we always ran neck and neck with them who had the most city championships.
True.
And at a certain point, Clinton was, you know, was there because I remember at least 64 scrimmaging them. And when we went up there to scrimmage them, we ain't played 4 quarters. We played 5 and 6 quarters. That's how Jackie would tell you. And I remember that track helped us because, you know, Willie Worsley, I had to try to guard him. And I mean, he was short, fast, whatnot, and guys was backing up off him. Jackie said, no, I got him. And that was that. He was our stopper. Jackie would rather play defense than anything. You know, he'd rather play defense than anything. So we played them 6 quarters my 2 years there. And I mean, I don't know, they never came, as far as I remember, they never came to our gym. We always went up there.
Yeah, it never came to Boys.
No, and
We always had the track.
yeah,
We always went
Nobody
there
want to come to Brooklyn?
until we got to the playoffs.
I didn't,
Nobody
you
want to come to
know,
Brooklyn?
the other year, this guy, Walter Robinson, he was Paolo Robinson's brother. He was just as tough. So they had good players, and I understand Nate Archibald was on the team, but he didn't. I think he made the team the next year. Tiny made the team in '66.
He was a sophomore. Yeah, he was.
66.
Yeah, they were our nemesis, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got him in our junior year
Yeah.
in the
We got him twice.
we got him twice.
But
We got him in the semifinals and we got him in the finals.
in the
That was
garden,
fine because it seemed like they would always lose the championship.
It was always
in the
there.
garden.
And what was historical about it was Willie Worsley went on to go on the team.
Texas.
Texas Western.
The
That
first
won.
black team to win the national championship
Yeah.
for college.
Right.
Kentucky.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, in Kentucky, Pat Riley.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's history.
Willie
Pat
Cajun,
Riley
and
would be
who else? There was 3 of them. It was
David Latin.
David
David
Latin.
Latin.
from New York. It was Willie Cajun was from New York.
Sid, what's his
Willie Worsley
name?
from New
The
York.
talk never shed.
They never
Never
shed.
shed.
Center.
Oh, that's Jackie.
Tell
Hello.
Jack, tell Jack I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for him.
Tell me we had closing remarks.
Yeah,
Tell me
leave
leave.
that. Okay, where you at? That's your car?
Outside. Closing remarks.
Yeah, you're right. Come on inside.
The Rock. The Rock shows up.
Closing
Don't worry,
remarks.
we'll watch it from here. You had the parking
You
meter.
have something to say, don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
That's in there?
Yeah.
You can park anywhere.
Don't worry about it. We can watch it from here. We at the window. I see your flashing lights. Come on in.
Come on.
I was just talking about you got to put a topping on this.
He better.
Okay.
We talking bad about him.
Brother made this man come all the way from Queens now.
Yeah.
So you got
He gonna be mad at me. That's my captain group.
I was the last man on the team.
He ain't got no lights. You know, last year he lived in the Bronx.
But I didn't want to leave without saying goodbye.
We don't want you to leave without
I
saying
really enjoyed hearing
Hey,
the
now,
history. I really enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
not as much as we did, man.
Oh my gosh, y'all are
World is
really.
large, but the circle
I
is
never
small.
thought of the fact of the first
If you haven't already,
as you
Yeah.
brought up, and the first championship that an all-black team.
Yes.
All of that I never
Yes.
thought of.
It's all historic.
Coach, first black college coach. And he won in college.
That's
Played at
right.
Virginia Union. He won an MVP as a player.
Coach Howie Jones impacted your life.
Well, I have to start from the beginning.
Go ahead.
The beginning starts when I was in junior high school. I actually supposed to go to Automotive High School. I passed the test. I was sitting down in the gym waiting to play the next game. And Howie approached me. When he approached me, he asked me, what school am I going to? I said, Old High School. I passed the exams, and that's where I'm going. His statement was, if you come to Boys High, I guarantee you go to college. I said, my family cannot afford to send me to college. He said, go home, speak to your parents, and we keep in touch. The next day, the principal called me, and I thought I had a fight. I said, what she want? So when I looked in the window, I saw Mickey Fisher, I saw Howie Jones, I saw Vaughn Harper, I saw Sam Penfield, and Butch Murdoch. I never forgot that. So the principal asked me, did you follow the instructions of the coach? I said, yes. I said, so what's your answer? I said, my mother said, whatever I decide, it's fine with her. So, okay, I said, change my record to Boys High. 3 years I was at Boys High. We went to the finals 3 times. Sophomore year, junior year, and the senior year. We lost to DeWitt Clinton, but 2 out of 3 is not bad.
That's right.
The war came out. When the war came out, Howie said, get your buddy in college. So I said, Howie, you tell me where to go, because he was like a father to me. So he threw the application. You had 10 scholarships. So I said, you tell me where to go. He said, you got to pick it. So I just closed my eyes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Johnson C. Smith University, here I go. I didn't know nothing about the university whatsoever. But when I got there, I couldn't believe it. Everybody was speaking to me, the girls. And I said to my man, these girls gonna come up to you and speak to you like that? He said, yeah. He said, that's the custom down here. So I said, oh man, I know when the season started was gonna happen. So during the years I was at Johnson C. Smith, Howie kept in contact, and I said we both kept in contact with each other. When I was in college, how he played a big impact is that all of that yelling at you. I always kept a positive attitude when he yelled. Got something to say. I had my ear to his mouth, and yes, coach. And I remember the chemistry teacher said, is he listening to you? He said, yes, he listening to me. And he said, well, so you can run my team. I want you to run my team. So he had me practice defense, offense. And during that time, everybody was saying, could he shoot? Because Webb always was the man, you know. And so I said, hey, could you shoot, Wilson? I said, yeah, I can shoot. He said, what if I shoot for? We winning? I'm satisfied when we winning. So the day when Webb got sick and he couldn't play, then I took over 2 roles, running the team and shooting. I think I scored about 25 that game. And so anyway, Howie, he did a lot because not only in college, he also did a lot to help me when I went to the military. In the military, the drill sergeants and the higher-up sergeant majors, they wanted to elevate me to the next level, which I refused. I said, I don't want no responsibility. I had enough of that in basketball. I want no responsibility. But he knows how the soldiers looked up to me, and it looked good on your record. So I said, okay. Okay, so right now he put on my record and went back to my unit. Before I went back to my unit, the sergeant major came in and said to me, your room looked pretty good. He went in the corner and checked the locker. He put his finger there. He said, this room is dirty. I said, God, damn, he got me right in the corner. And he came this close to me and he said, what's my name? Couldn't think of his name. About a minute went by, I couldn't think of his name. He said, look at my chest. Oh, he got me. He got me. So I said, I want to become like him. So each year, when it was promotion time, they elevated me. Sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant. Oh, they said, nope, we don't want you to be the master sergeant. We want you to be top dog. We want you to be in charge of all the soldiers. I refused. Then he said, if in the future you decide you want to become top dog, you cannot because you turned it down previously. Okay, I took it. I went to the academy, passed the academy. Then the next level was the top level of the military sergeant major. The same process what happened there. I went to the academy fast. So when it came down to my life, from then on, from college to military, the leadership and the direction he gave me, you know, it helped me as I went through my career in the military. Now, the question is, how he took his time to deal with me, show me my pros and cons in terms of my game. It also helped me in terms of the community. Since then, I've been involved in the community, give something back. You know, say give something back. So, from the past to the present, still doing it right now.
So could you, I'm sorry, could you just name some of your high school teammates when you were in high school playing for
Okay, let's see if I remember. Okay, starting, Eldridge Webb, Vaughn Harper, Butch Murdoch, Epps, Ray Epps, Billy Taylor, Boyer, okay, Hayward Edwards, Rob Washington, Larry Cheatham, Chico Donovan. Matter of fact, Chico Donovan's wife, she's still active. She's active in the community. My lady, they're in the same sorority, which is the Zetas. And she's very active. Matter of fact, I saw it about a couple of weeks ago when they had a lunch affair on cancer survivors. Any other questions you want to ask me?
I just wanted to hear about your teammates.
Yeah, teammates.
At Boys High.
Yeah, those I can remember.
Yeah.
If I left something out, somebody bring it forth.
What's the funniest thing that happened to you while you was playing at the High?
Funniest?
That's a good question. Funniest thing.
Oh, tell them why you're not on the 64 picture that Crusher got here. 1964 picture.
Yeah. That's like in junior high school, wasn't it?
No, 1964 team picture.
He's in pictures of his name is on there.
1964. That's what I
That's your senior year in high school.
in high school. That's right. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
You're not on the picture.
How come I'm not in the picture?
Yeah. You already
I
told
screwed
us.
up.
I'll see if you remember.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you, Yogi.
You had additional
Yeah.
other players.
What happened then? I was messing around with sister. I was just taking care of business before. You know, I said I gotta go. I gotta go. And then when I got there, you know, I missed the picture. I know Howie was mad. And I think he said he wasn't gonna start me. I said, okay, but you're not gonna win if you don't start me, coach. All right. So I guess he smiled. I smiled at each other. He played me. He started me. And yeah, that was something like. Because see, I grew up without a father, and he was a father figure for me. You see, and the discipline I got from Howie, I know how to deal with the players. Because sometimes when the players get a little annoyed where a player's shooting too much and you're not giving it up. So I had to talk to him. I said, get you back in the game. Just watch me. I give you a couple of picks to get you in. Bam. When they screw up, I talk to the players. I know how to talk to the players to get them back on the right track in order to play the game. Bottom line. I love to make sure I'm in charge. And that's what the direction that I received from Howie Jones when Boys High. You are in charge. You see. And I understood that because as I went up in basketball, everybody wanted to shoot. Everybody can't shoot. You got to play a team as one. Because when I tried out for the Detroit Pistons, and especially Seattle Supersonics, where everybody wanted to shoot. And I said to the guys, listen, we're all here to try to make the team, but we all cannot make the team. So we got to play together. We want to show our talent. And the center said, you're right, Wilson. And we did everything. When somebody tried to hurt me, the center went to him and said, don't you hurt Wilson, we'll F you up. I never forgot that. You see? And then when we played against Portland, oh man, they played good. Pass off, make your layup, big dunk, and bam. And then we win the party. We won the game. I think it was against Portland we played. Any other questions?
What about the Knicks? Did you try for the Knicks?
Oh yeah, of all the camps I went to, the Knicks was the only camp that I learned from, learned additional. Because I predicted that they was going to win. And they said, how you know? Because they play like a family. Everybody knew their role. And you want me to say some negative stuff?
Not on camera.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because everybody was cool. Two guys I didn't care too much about. I wasn't mentioning no name.
Who were those two guys?
You want me okay, I'm about to tell you. I didn't care too much for the two guys. They're all right, but I didn't care too much for them. But my man Bradley, I call him the dead eye. That guy can shoot. And many times when I got by Mike Riordan, he would catch me. And I said, geez, how did he catch me? So when he was on the bench, I said, Mike, I know several times I got to step on you and you caught me. And he told me how he caught me. In them days, they was hand checking.
Yeah.
I said, oh.
Hold you back.
Yeah, exactly. And I learned. I like the Knicks. And I said, when it came down to Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, I said, my man Earl Monroe gonna kill Frazier. No. The guy said, no, you wanna bet? I bet you'll see no. He said, yeah. All right, then put it up. So I said, no, let my man hold the money. All right, okay. So when they played, my man Earl Monroe killed him. I said, little man could guard Earl Monroe. I said, it was me. He said, why you said? Because in college I held him to 5. Yeah. Held him to 5. Oh. I didn't know who he was.
Black Jesus.
Yeah, how I'm saying, I didn't know who he was.
Black Jesus.
Yeah, because what happened? That was the second time in my life that I cried in the game, after the game, because we played against Winston-Salem, and they beat us. And so I said, Coach, could I guard that guy next time? You think you can handle him? Yes. When Merle was dribble, I studied him. That's how I learned from Howie, proper defense. When he dribbled and he do that turn, everybody steal the ball over the bridge. If you get him over the bridge and you steal it, you're gonna hit him. But if you go under the bridge, the ball go out, hit it and go after it. And then every time he would shoot, I would do the pinky here, do like that and get back. Don't see it. And the ball go up, bam. And lastly, I want to see could he take it. So we were showing us over. I'm watching the referee. I said, whoa! He said, what the hell? I just ran down the court. But to make a long story short, yeah. So to make a long story short, with Mr. Salem, they beat us. But after the second time in life, I said, bad coach. I was the first, I ain't care. I said, bad coach. But next time I said, I'm going to practice, and next time we beat them, I put a hurting on them. Because every time I see them, we always talk about what we did in college with the guy, But it was good. But as a whole, where I am today was for Howie Jones, because he kept me on the right trail towards the top. That's all I got to say. I got 30 more minutes.
You're on the road now.
We got 30 more minutes to talk.
Closing out. So
1955.
It's been a stone gas and a great pleasure to be here with these great gentlemen. They held up Brooklyn, they held us up as black men, and they held us up as examples of what hard work and talent and playing together in unity can do. God bless. Peace and blessings to Howie Jones and all the brothers.
That's right. I ain't heard. Let's see if he was soft.
he was from Brooklyn.
He was soft. You gonna take a picture of the man?
Yeah, don't forget the picture. Yeah, we're going to take that picture now. Okay.
There you go, miss. Thank you. I make sure they get home.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bill Turtle Reeves. The nickname Turtle is from me growing up in the illustrious Fort Greene projects, Brooklyn, New York, back in the early to mid 60s. That's when I first ran into and met the legendary Mr. Jones. Back then, I used to play night center ball at Sands Junior High School. And through Sally Walker, I was able to make the Knight Center basketball team. And playing with Sally, I learned a very great deal of fundamental basketball. And in playing at the Knight Center, I met up with a lot of my male mentors. And one was Howie Jones. Along with Howie Jones, there was also Jim Daniels. Along with Jim Daniels, there was Mr. Phil Cox. And Phil Cox was a legendary principal of the junior high school day school, and he wound up going to Boys High and became the principal of Boys High. Well, anyhow, through Sally Walker, I was able to make the Knight Center team, and then behind him, he allowed me to be part of the junior high school first New York City junior high school championship team. So with that junior high school championship team, I learned that I had a decent game. Now, Howie Jones used to come through the Knight Center, and by him coming through the Knight Center, he had an opportunity to look at all the players that were playing at Sands. And I wound up knowing that because Howie was the coach of Boys High, that he had an illustrious career at Boys High as the coach. And he had many championship teams. And I knew, because I was on the Sands Junior High School championship city team, that I was not going to Boys High. Boys High had an illustrious team, like I said, and Howie thought that my game was decent, but it wasn't good enough to make the high team. So because of that, I decided to go to Fort Hamilton, and I had a pretty good career at Fort Hamilton. Anyhow, the Knight Center team, I'd like to show a picture of that Knight Center team, if you can zoom in on it. All right, on that team, I lost the picture, but I was in the front row, and in the front row next to me was Lionel Hendricks. Lionel was a bad-ass guard who wound up being part of the Boys High team. In the back row, there were two guys that led our team to the championship. One was Carl Wright, who led our team on the championship game with 15 points. The other was Pete Bell. And also in that picture is our main man at center, Mike Henderson. All three of them wound up becoming starters at Boys High's championship team. And it was a great team. And again, that team was coached by Howie Jones. And Howie was a pretty good ball player. He was no joke when we came to us playing at the Knight Center. He was old school. And when I say old school, Howie had a set shot that I'll never forget. Don't let anybody set up a pick for him, because Howie would go behind that pick and shoot a two-handed jump shot, a two-handed shot, which back then we laughed at, because we didn't think that that was kind of part of our game back then. We had jump shots. Howie had a set shot. But Sally Walker was no joke either. Sally was the first black male to play ball at St. John's University in 1951. And Sally taught us a lot. He taught us a lot. He was a brute, but he was my mentor, and I learned a lot from him and Howie Jones. So on that note, I would like to say it was really a really sad moment when we lost both of them. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to speak about my dear friend and coach, Howie Jones. Howie Jones was very, very special in many, many ways. He was a father figure, he was a coach, as well as he was a friend.
How did Howie Jones influence you as you keep going before you went to Boys High?
You know, Howie was a philosopher. He knew young men in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy. He knew what to tell them to encourage them and motivate them. For example, when I first met Howie, I was introduced to Howie by Lester Roberts, and I went to a Boys High game. I was really enthralled and really impressed by the camaraderie and the love and also the talent of the team. And when I got an opportunity to meet him face to face, I really met Howie for an hour. Excuse me, for a minute and a half. I was in junior high school when I met Howie. He said, I heard a lot about you. I understand you have some talent. If you want to play for the very best, you only come to one high school. That's Boys High School. I was considering Wingate, Erasmus Hall. I was going to Erasmus Hall. But when Howie Jones said to me, if you want to play with the best and be with the best, you come here. He turned around and walked away from me. And here I am, a young star, influenced by people around me. And when Howie walked away from me, I was like, that left an indelible image in my mind. He made a statement. So 6 months later, when I started really thinking about it, I said, you know something? If I think I'm as good as I think I really am, I'm going to go to Boys High School. I went to Boys High School. The rest is history. I have no regrets. It's the best decision I ever made. And the bottom line is, if I didn't go to Boys High, if I went to Erasmus High School, I'd have had probably 6 kids before I graduated. The bottom line is, I love Boys High. I will always love Boys High. And there's always one Boys High School. Not Boys and Girls High School, Boys High School. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for watching. Don't forget, tune in next week to Cultural Spectrums and Jazz Pearls. Same time, same station. Until then,